I have the skeleton of a pitch.
Oh.
We need to work.
So like every week?
Shut up. I have, yeah, I'll just do that. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Very Reasonable Pilots podcast. I'm your host, Charles Long, and with me, as always, is my co-host, Jake Gloth. How are you doing today, Jake?
I'm doing all right. How about you, Charles?
I'm doing all right. I'm waiting for the fateful day that I will ask you how you're doing, and you'll be like, "I'm so bad.
Oh.
I'm doing really bad." And you'll just break down in tears.
And then now the episode will just end right there.
No, it'll just be 20 minutes of you crying and me like awkwardly, like every once in a while, I'll go like.
If you want, I can try to I can just cut some crying noises over the whole episode.
No, it has to be genuine.
Just have it be that.
And then when we go viral, I feel.
Because I cried for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
I guess it's probably like a record or something, right? 20 minutes is a long time.
I mean, it's not that, like, people cry for like hours, you know?
Oh, well, probably not a record then.
No. I'm going to talk about a TV show idea I had. One that was inspired by your previous show, Red Strings.
Oh, really?
I got the idea when you were talking about it, because I like the idea of a totally obsessed journalist.
So you heard my pitch, and you're like, you know, Jake, you just kind of missed the mark just a little bit.
No,
you should have done it like
no,
this.
I barely listen, but I heard like the first couple minutes, and then I was like, oh, I have an idea, and I started writing all this down while you just kind of talked.
Really? Wow. Okay.
But mine.
This is why I do better as the commentator, because I listen to what you have to say.
I'm a great commentator. I make jokes. But this one is a superhero journalist. You know.
Okay.
The guy.
So Clark Kent, you just did Superman.
No, he's not. He's a journalist who investigates superheroes. He doesn't have any powers. Yeah, like the boys, but less morally ambiguous. The boys isn't very morally ambiguous. More dystopian than the boys. The boys is very contemporary.
Wait, so in the boys, so these superheroes are worse or better than the boys?
I would say the superheroes are about as bad, but different ways. You know.
Okay.
It's less in the TV show The Boys. I haven't read the comic, but the TV show, the superheroes are like representative of, you know, corporatization and stuff like that. Whereas in this, they're a bit more representative of like government overreach, but also it takes place in the future.
Of course it does. It always does.
Yeah, because the future's great. I have here the superheroes aren't like political pawns. They're more like TikTok stars, you know?
Huh?
Like the superheroes aren't like people that like gain power and use it to influence things. They're more like Jake Paul. You know? Like imagine if Jake Paul could throw a 60-ton boulder through an orphanage. You know, that's kind of the idea.
You probably would.
He definitely would. He's a bad man. He's a bad man he deserves to be eaten alive by a gang of ravenous children. So,
okay.
The pitch takes place in 2142. Technology is somewhat stagnated. We have two characters. We have our well, one sec. I'm sorry.
No, it's all right. You're giving me time to write down my pitch that I'm writing down while you're speaking.
That's good. I'm glad. So, in this world, superpowers have been randomly distributed throughout the citizenry. Like a virus, a disease, a plague of some description kills a majority of the people who get it, but then, like, 1/4 of 1% get superpowers. And they become either pawns for, like, political power or, like, TikTok stars who are like, hey, everybody, I'm so cool, look at me. It's like Mr. Beast, but he can fly.
Okay.
Not in a jetpack fueled by money and the tears of children.
Wow.
I don't like Mr. Beast. He's a dick. The population of the world has reached, right now, we're at 7 billion, right? That's the population of the world right now. 7 to 8 billion around.
Yep.
At this point in 2142, the population has reached to 14 billion. So we basically doubled. And there's
I can do the math.
tiny. Okay. There's a tiny.
That's times 2. That's the previous number added to itself.
Yeah. Still. Whatever. It's 8 now. It's closer to 8 now than it is to 9. So it hasn't doubled. It's closer to 8 billion now in the world we currently live in than it is to 7. So it's not technically doubled. It's a little bit less than doubled.
But you made the assumption. You said it's about 7. And I'm going to double that.
7
so it's
and 8.
doubled. So it's
Okay.
14. That's what you said.
So, great. You can keep babbling about numbers.
Pretty sure you were babbling about numbers.
I babble a lot. So our main crew, our main duo of gentlemen who are investigating these heroes are Stephen Lee and Jerome Kovacs.
Kovacs.
Yeah.
You watch Altered Carbon? Is that why?
No.
No? Never mind. Okay. Takeshi Kovacs.
Have you never read Watchmen?
Oh, okay. That's what you're going for.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about because future. I assumed you were talking about Takeshi Kovacs.
No.
But keep going.
The technology is somewhat stagnated in this universe, so there's no like laser guns. It's more just like bullets, but also iPhones are better, and you can like it's not that.
iPhones are better.
Phones are better. There's not like your phone's got like 60 terabyte of storage on it, but it's not like there's laser guns and jetpacks and stuff. It follows a team of an online journalist, like a guy who works for basically the equivalent of BuzzFeed. But he's trying to get into real journalism. That's Stephen Lee. He's trying to get into like real cool journalism and like investigative journalism. Paired up with Jerome Kovacs, who is a conspiracy theorist, who's like, again, he's your red strings guy. He's got the red strings all over his room, but he's fucking nuts and mostly right. Because all the superheroes are, what's the word for it?
Bad.
Hated by a good chunk of the population. Because the superhero virus has killed most people, like killed most people who got it. And only a small number survived, and they get magnificent powers. So they've all been sent to New York, which was destroyed in a superhero battle earlier in the century, like completely annihilated. It's a wasteland. That's where unwanted superheroes go, and only a few superheroes are like embraced by the public because they're like used as pawns by forces greater than them to influence events and so on and so forth. So no one's really sure where the virus came from. I'm just giving you the backstory for this world, not really an episode.
Mm-hmm.
But no one's really sure where the virus came from, so there's constant wars.
Is there a global government, or is there just a it's like it is now?
I think it's each country is an isolationist, like in their own way, but the U.S. still has the strongest military and is waging constant wars, clogging people up with the gears of their war machine. Like they just are pumping out soldiers. They've reinstated the draft, and it's just every kid joins the army. Men, women, children. You're getting sent to the military. You're gonna clog up the machines of the war machine that's happening in Germany or whatever. So there's all of these.
Germany again? Wow.
I think everybody. They're trying to kill everybody. There's all these different theories as to where the powers came from, and most people's powers aren't dangerous or like crazy, super powerful. Most people who have the superpowers are like, I can change my eye color, or like I can move my organs at will.
I can toast.
Yeah, I could toast with my eyes. I am powdered.
You toast bread. You don't toast toast.
No, you toast toast. I can only toast toast.
Oh, so you just make it more toasty.
Yeah, I can reheat toast, and it
Nice.
won't get gross and soggy.
Like when you. I'd want that.
I would too. And so there's 3 basic, organizations in this world that are utilizing the superhero crisis for their own gain. There's the UPI, which is the Union of Powered Individuals, which is like the people who are trying to represent the powered powered
I got
peoples.
it. Yeah, the name of the organization kind of gave it away.
Yeah, they're trying to represent their interests, but also trying to get an upper hand in, the world. Nobody is a good guy is basically the idea I've got. And there is an Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos type guy who's
really
rich and evil, and he's using all of his vast wealth and technology to recruit super powerful people, not just the guy who can toast.
Getting like Superman and such.
Yes, that sort of guy. They're getting him, and they've got a moon base, and they're trying to, and they're trying to.
Is this a James Bond film? Is this Moonraker?
Not yet.
Okay.
It's close. Yeah, and they're
It's a bad film, by the way. Moonraker. Not a good movie.
I probably imagined. Yeah, technology has stagnated, and most around the 2040s, and most people have moved. Most of the super ultra rich have moved off world.
Oh, so you can go to different planets?
Not planets, but you can go to different colonies in space. So it's basically
It's like habitats in space, not like a planet.
Yeah, they have asteroids and satellites that they live on.
Okay.
Yeah, that sort of thing. I have here the Middle East is a wintry hellhole after the U.S. deployed experimental weaponry, because they claimed the superhero virus originated from there. So the Middle East has basically become Siberia, but worse.
Nuclear winter.
Yeah, have you ever played the Metro games? The Metro 2033? Like that, but not as many bears. Those are good games. You remember that? Those are good games.
They are pretty good.
Yeah, I like those games a lot.
Let's go on a tangent where we talk about them for the next 40
minutes.
minutes.
Yeah, let's do it. There's Artyom.
Yep, and his wife.
And his wife. Wait, she's not in the first one, which is the one I played 3 times.
All right, let's go back to the pitch.
Yeah, and after Jeff Bezos and his space group of spacey rich people are creating an army of superheroes to secede from the planet's government and start their own thing.
Planet's government? I thought it was the U.S.
Or the U.S. government. Yeah. The planet's, oversight, because they still have to follow the Geneva Convention and stuff like that. They're still under the jurisdiction of the UN, and they still have to report to people. They're not just completely seceded yet. So Jeff Bezos is trying to secede from the planet and start his own super race of people with powers and stuff. And the third and arguably most dangerous faction being the U.S. military, obviously, because the U.S. military is bad. And
So wait, the factions are the superheroes, Jeff Bezos, right? U.S. military, and what's the third one? It's the government?
The UPI, Jeff Bezos, and the U.S. military. Those are the 3 factions.
Okay, got it. So the UPI and Jeff Bezos don't work together, even though Jeff Bezos is kind of with the superheroes.
Well, I think Jeff Bezos is trying to I like that we've just named. Okay, we'll name him Jeff Musk. That's his name.
Jeff Musk. Okay.
Jeff Musk is trying to he's trying to create a race of superhero superpowered individuals. Yeah. Through inhumane experimentation on different bases and stuff. And there's gonna be a twist, but I'll save that for later.
No.
I've got some twists written down here.
Spicy.
Yeah. And our 2 characters, Stephen Lee and Jerome Kovacs, are kind of stuck in the middle, trying to figure out what's actually going on, because it is still a mystery. The big mystery of the show is where did the space come from? It fell out of my pocket. I found it behind the fridge. Oh, that's a lot of space to have behind the fridge. Where did the superhero virus come from? Like, that's the big question of the show.
Yep.
And so, our two main characters, Jerome and Steven, are kind of trying to solve that mystery while also trying to, like, dig up dirt on various heroes that are in the public eye. I only have one hero in mind currently, and he is the only superhero employed by the U.S. government. Because the U.S. government is running a stringent, like, anti-hero campaign. Like, they're trying to destroy the creators of the virus and trying to, like, prove that humanity is equal to these extraordinary individuals. So they're developing, like, cyborgs and cloning technology and various different ways that they can combat the superhero menace. And the only hero they have on their side, and it's not like an outward, like, hatred. It's like an underlying thesis statement for their existence. And the only soup they employ is Captain USA. That's his name.
Wow.
He's got basically all the he's got super strength and flight and invulnerability. He's basically a Superman style guy.
Yeah.
But he's not, like, nearly as smart. Or as, like, intentioned. He's just like, if there's a guy, I'll laser him. And he's constantly...
Homelander, basically.
Well, yeah, but it's surprises.
Okay.
Because halfway through the season, maybe later, maybe earlier, we find out that Captain USA is actually lobotomized and is being controlled by the U.S. government through, like, computers in his head. And he was like a superhero kid named Flyboy, and he was just like, you know, like a Superboy style character.
Yeah.
Or like what's the guy from Incredibles? The kid from The Incredibles.
No, it's not Flash. What is his name?
That kid, the son's name is Dash, but the kid
Dash.
is at the beginning of The Incredibles, who's like, he's just trying to help out and be a good guy.
Oh, the bad guy?
Yeah.
Syndrome?
Yeah, Syndrome. He's basically like Syndrome if Syndrome wasn't, like, evil. He's just like a wholesome 50s style Americana young man trying to help out the world and do good things.
And he gets taken over by the U.S. government into, like, this.
And at some point,
that loses his mind.
Yeah, and at some point throughout his existence, he's recruited by the U.S. government. They lobotomize him. They crank his powers up to 11. Like, I imagine when he was Flyboy, he could fly, and he had, like, enhanced strength, maybe. But now he's, like, shooting lasers and shit, because he's basically a meat puppet with everything inside of him is robotics. And his brain is, like, in a jar somewhere. Oh, man. I had seltzer water? Not good podcasting.
No.
Stuff. Get a lot of air bubbles. So yeah, Captain USA. And he's like this... He's an overly patriotic, basically robotic monster man who would act as the main, like, thrust of the danger whenever dealing with the U.S. government, but is not in and of himself malicious and can be, like, talked down, maybe, if you're nice. You're like, hey, buddy.
I like the idea, but I hate the name.
Captain USA. It's meant to be cringy. It's great.
Yeah, it's not great.
Because it's like, well, I'm trying to think of what the military...
Vanguard.
Okay, maybe Vanguard.
I don't know, something like that, where it's like very... Or they'd probably, if it was the military, Project something.
Yeah.
Project Eagle, or something like that.
Eagle Flight. Delta. Alpha Eagle Flight Delta. That's his name.
That's, something stupid that the military would name like that.
So...
Or, just name, like, because the U.S. military likes to just name things M1, like the tank, the gun, all that stuff.
Yeah.
So just name him like M2.
M2. Oh, I like that. M2. But yeah, I was trying to think of like a cringy name that the U.S. government like would get, like if they had a whole gang of people like come together and come up with the least offensive name to create like someone that everyone in the U.S. can get behind. Basically, like remember Captain America, the first Avenger, the movie?
Yeah.
At the beginning, when he's just like doing shows and stuff.
Yeah.
He's basically a propaganda tool. And I was trying to do that same thing, but he's also a dangerous lunatic with superpowers who can fly and stab you and so on. And he probably won't stab you. He could stab you, but it'd be weird if he did.
Yeah.
You know? It's like whenever you see a Superman comic where he's got a gun. And it's like, why does Superman have a gun? He doesn't need a gun. Don't give Superman a gun, you morons. His eyes are guns. Like, clipping his fingernails is probably more powerful than a shotgun. How does Superman clip his fingernails? How does he clip his fingernails?
He probably uses laser?
He probably bites them. He's probably one of those people. It's just...
He probably has to.
Yeah.
They have that comic where he, like, shaves himself using the lasers.
Mm-hmm. He, like, reflects it.
Yeah.
That wouldn't work. It would just melt the mirror.
I guess, yeah. I never thought about that. But also, is his hair not indestructible? So that means when he goes into a fire, his hair on his head should burn off and he should be bald.
Or is his hair indestructible? And if so, how does he get, like, does he get a haircut? Does he do it himself? Does he laser his hair?
How does he get a haircut?
I don't know. Superman, we don't know. He's probably got some weird alien biology. What's Superman's dick looks like? No one knows.
Okay, well, we're going too far here. Let's go back to the show.
Probably got an eye.
No.
And
so we got twist. Our M1, Captain America.
Captain USA. Big bitch. That's his name. BB.
Okay.
The UPI is the good guys, but by good, I mean they're still grasping for power and trying to take as much as they can get, you know?
Yeah.
But they're the ones who are representing the superhero populace that have been, you know, disenfranchised by all of this hatred. And like it's they're across the world, they're like shunned and hated and killed and all this sort of thing. But the world's already suffering, like, a lot, so it's not just them suffering, you know? They just need...
Like the X-Men.
Like the X-Men, except less lame.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, this does kind of sound like the future X-Men, where it's like they're all being hunted, and they got those big like, robot things that have, like, the lasers and shit like that.
It's like that, but, like... less overt, you know, less of like in the US. I mean, I imagine in other parts of the world there may be more overt tactics for getting rid of them, or less overt. Maybe in Russia they're just very accepting. I don't know, but I imagine like they're just highly encouraged to get out and go back to where they came from. And all that sort of thing, you know. And season finale, season twist, after weeks of investigations and close calls with various superheroes of varying levels of strength and cybernetically augmented soldiers that are hunting them down because Steven and Jerome are getting too close to the truth, man. They discover when they go up to visit Jeff Musk up in his beautiful space tower. His big, beautiful space wall.
Ivory tower.
Yeah.
Literally made out of ivory.
You want to guess what the twist is?
Jeff Bezos is a superhero.
No. It's aliens.
Aliens is the twist?
Yes. Aliens. Okay. The aliens sent this virus in, you know... Well, they teamed up with Jeff Bezos in order to send this virus throughout the entirety of the world to soften up the planet so they're ripe for invasion.
That doesn't make any sense. Why would they send a superhero virus to soften up the planet?
Well, again, most of the superheroes don't have dangerous powers. Maybe, like...
Yeah, but you make one dude that's invulnerable, you're kind of done, right?
But they have a thing that can turn it off.
Oh.
They've just got, like, a zap. Because it's, you know, they made it, they could turn it off. It's all these, like...
How viruses work.
It's a... It's... What?
The nano... whatever it's called.
Nanobots.
Nanobots. It's not even a virus.
I mean, no, but it looks like a virus to all human scientists.
Okay.
But it's this hyper-advanced technology they've created in order to try and, like, pit U.S. or Earth governments against each other and cause this, like, mass hysteria and extinction. Because, you know, in order to soften them up. So I'm just imagining a scene in which the aliens arrive and Captain USA, as controlled by the president or something, he's in VR goggles, and he's doing it, and he's like, "I'll stop this," and he tries to like sock the, like, hit the alien leader in the face, and the alien leader just like clicks a button, and he like shuts down.
Just falls.
He just like, and he like fucking dies, or maybe he explodes. Maybe all of his organs explode at once. I think that'd be pretty fun.
Okay.
I don't know.
It's pretty brutal.
Yeah.
How do our main characters sort of... I don't know. Usually the main characters fix the problem, right? But we got two investigators.
Yeah.
Against aliens.
Well, I think the aliens, they're like... Throughout the entire season, Steven and Jerome are, like, investigating. In the first couple episodes, they're investigating kind of small town stuff. Not small town stuff. They live in Chicago, which is the biggest city in the country now, because New York had been blown up and is now a soup haven. But they are, you know, investigating local heroes, quote unquote, like TikTok stars, basically.
Yeah.
But they're just superheroes. And, like, just trying to get dirt on them. Because Jerome is a conspiracy theorist and, like, completely obsessed with the idea that, like, there's something else going on. There has to be. There isn't just a virus that came along and gave people superpowers. That's fucking ridiculous. Mm-hmm. There has to be something. There's someone else pulling the strings.
It'd be kind of funny is if, like, in the first episode, you have Jerome call it. He's like, honestly, I think it's aliens, man. Like, it's aliens.
Aliens,
and they never mention it again until, like, the big reveal. And then he just looks over to Kovac and is like, I told you.
Yeah, dumbass. But yeah, I'm thinking, like, the series starts with Stephen Lee, the BuzzFeed writer, getting into contact with Jerome.
Does he actually write for BuzzFeed?
He writes
so
for...
it was just like a BuzzFeed-like company.
It's a BuzzFeed-like thing, and he's just trying to, like, write celebrity news about this, like, TikTok star superhero.
Yeah.
But, you know, and it just gets... They just fall deeper and deeper down the rabbit hole as they investigate more and more, because Jerome's got all these crazy ideas, like, oh, but I think he's been eating children to keep himself young, or something.
Yeah.
And like, most of his predictions are not true. Like, most of them are crazy.
Yeah.
But there's that, like, 25% where he's onto something. So the first, like, couple of episodes, they're just investigating, like, some Jake Paul, like, super guy he grows wings and can fly, or he can shoot lasers out of his eyes, or his fingernails shoot out of his hands, maybe. Like a pew pew.
Maybe go with wings.
Yeah, probably with wings.
Grow wings.
Yeah.
That seems like a Jake Paul-y, like, YouTuber thing.
Mm-hmm. And I would imagine that, like, they're just going up the ladder of people in charge.
Yeah.
So they are, like, getting information from the Jake Paul guy, and then he dies, like, he's murdered in a horrific way. I'm thinking maybe if he grows the wings, like, that's every time he grows the wings and then flies away, and then the wings fall off, and he has to regrow them again. And he dies by, like, having his powers overloaded, so he just keeps growing wings. Like, on every single part of his body. Like, every single cell of his body just grows a giant pair of bird wings until he explodes. Just ideas. I got some ideas. I got ideas
I
about
don't think he'd explode. He'd just sort of, like...
He'd turn into
wings.
Yeah, he'd become a mass of wings, and like he'd be brain dead or something, or die.
His brain are wings now.
Yeah, and his lungs are wings, and he'd just die. And then they have to like figure out, well, who murdered him? Why did they murder him? How did somebody overload his powers remotely? That's not something that we've ever seen before. And they, go move up a rung of the ladder, and they're talking to corporate people, and they're like trying to get information on, because I think Jerome would be very adamant that's the U.S. government,
Yeah.
Like, the U.S. government's behind this, man. They're doing some crazy shit, man. Haven't you ever heard of when they gave all that acid to those people, or whatever? You remember that?
Mind control, yeah.
Yeah. I forget what that's called.
CIA was like
MK Ultra. Yeah.
Yep.
MK Ultra, man. But in reality, the US government is the most plain. They're just like very open about what they're doing, and what they're doing is trying to eliminate superheroes.
Yeah. Okay.
Like they're not like
that.
They're not teamed up with anybody. They're out of the loop. It's just basically a bunch of meatheads trying to, like, get out of our land, man. Go back to where you came from, man. That sort of thing, but they don't say man. Say a slur. There's no
Sir. Oh.
A slur.
Okay.
Yeah, for superheroes.
You have fun making that up.
Oh, it's suppies. They're suppies.
Suppies?
Yep.
It sounds cute, like puppies.
Yeah, but it's a slur.
Okay, well.
I don't know. Yeah, so they're talking to corporate, and corporate's like, listen, man, you don't want any more of this. I am not at liberty to talk to you about anything. And maybe Captain USA flies through him when they're on a roof talking, and they're just like, we want the truth. What does the military have on you? Why won't you talk to us? And they'll be like, I can't. And then he gets flown through by Captain USA.
But I thought you said the military doesn't really know what's happening, so why would Captain USA get involved?
Well, I think they're investigating. Stephen and Jerome are investigating the military, which they don't want because the military never wants it. But they're kind of.
But they don't have anything to hide, so it's kind of like. I feel like it'd make more sense for like a Jeff Bezos-backed superhero to fly through.
They have stuff to hide. They have the lobotomized Captain USA to hide.
Well, then they fucking just used him, though.
Yeah, but nobody knows.
I don't see how our angel guy with the wings would know that.
He's killed by Jeff Bezos. Like, he gets his powers overloaded by Jeff Bezos, and Jerome thinks it's the U.S. military. So they go after, like, contractors and stuff, and try and find information on this. And everyone's like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I just work here, man, or whatever. Yeah. And they get a little too close to finding out that Captain USA is a lobotomized puppet that is controlled by the sitting president. Okay. I like the idea that that Captain USA is like the president,
literally controlled by him, him personally.
Like, he puts on VR goggles and then like haptic suit and haptic gloves, and he's like, "All right, boys, let's go."
It's pretty funny.
Yeah, so like Captain USA flies through him and is like, "You boys probably don't want to be looking around for any of this stuff. I tell you what. But Jerome has some means of escape.
Nice, some means of escape.
Something like my heartbeat is hitched up to a live feed that I have going in my eye right now. So if my heartbeat stops for longer than 2 seconds, a live feed of what's happening right now is going to be broadcast across the planet, and the whole world's gonna watch the U.S. government's golden boy murder 2 journalists, which is not gonna be good optics. No good optics whatsoever.
Get it? Optics, and his eye is recording it. That's
funny. Not good optics, he would say. And then it would be like, okay, fair enough. There's the bad optics there.
What are you using an accent?
I don't know. Because it's funny. Accents are funny. Accents are funny.
All right.
So yeah, that's... And, they just keep going up the ladder of power. And they talk to the UPI. And they're like, why is Captain USA working for the U.S. government? Why isn't he working with you? And it's like, we've tried to get in contact with him for decades now, and he refuses to talk to any of us. Whenever one of us approaches him, it's like approaching a brick wall. He refuses to have any contact with, superheroes, any superheroes whatsoever. He's kind of a lone agent and kind of weird. So I think the first half of the season is figuring him out. Maybe the first season, depending on how long the seasons are. The first, chunk of the show is figuring out, what's happening with him. And getting to know the various corporations, or various, I can't think. Why can't I think?
The various factions, yeah.
The various factions, and, trying to figure out, their motivations.
Yeah.
And, the second arc of the show would be figuring out the virus, because that's the big arc. The huge series-wide arc is figuring out the virus. But I think they figure out Captain USA, they get information, there's some sort of action scene, maybe. I don't know. They set off an EMP right next to his ear, and the robotics in his head stop working for a second, and all of his extra powers go down. So all he can do is fly and, is a bit strong. And they get, 60 guys to just beat him with, crowbars and sticks and stuff. Maybe not 60 guys, 12 guys.
Okay.
12 people. Like the scene from Lion King, when Scar is let to be eaten by the hyenas. That sort of thing. And he's just beaten mercilessly by all these people while the EMP works, and it is working, and Jerome and Steven escape in the carnage. But the EMP wears off, the machines start up again, he becomes invulnerable and kills 30 superheroes. Superheroes in quotation marks, guy who can toast, an Oregon man or whatever. And men, women, children, rips their heads off and shit like that. And that's when the U.S. government really goes into high gear, trying to eliminate superheroes. And then they're like, well, we know it wasn't him, so we still don't know, who blew up Jake Paul. We don't know where the virus comes from. We don't know why we're being targeted now. What's going on? So they start investigating Jeff Musk, and eventually they make it up to the space station. Maybe he's we're journalists. We're going on a tour of the Tesla factory they have on the moon. Yeah, and they figure it out. And, that's my idea for a show.
I like it. I don't like Jeff Musk's name though, because it's a little too on the nose, don't you think?
Yeah, Elon Bezos.
You go for rich people. My first thought is Cassius, who is I'm assuming you know who he is. He's he was a member of the Triumvirate. No, not Cassius Clay. He was the richest man in Rome, basically. Kind of a bad dude. So you could have the guy's first name be Cassius, or you could have his last name be Cassius, and then have a generic first name.
I think.
Or you could do
Bill Cassius.
Bill Cassius.
Mr. Cassius. Cassius. And it's spelt with dollar signs.
Or you can make his name Cassius Clay.
Oh no, but that'd be rad. We make a boxing superhero named Cassius Clay.
Yeah, but it's spelled with a K instead.
Yeah.
Because they didn't want to get sued.
He's Cassius Karen Clay. Well, with K's.
No. No.
Yeah,
not doing that one.
We're not doing that one. All right. Well, I think that was a successful episode of the Very Reasonable Pilots podcast. What do you think?
No.
No. Not a successful episode?
Nah, your pitch sucked.
Okay, good to know. I'm glad. I'm glad I'm going to take that into mind when I'm thinking about buying you a Christmas present.
Oh, see, you're going to be really upset then, because I got you something pretty good, to be fair.
Oh, God. No, you didn't. Please tell me you didn't give me anything for Christmas.
No, I didn't get you anything for Christmas.
No, we live continents apart. It would be weird.
I'd have to, mail it, and I wouldn't do that. That would take forever.
Yeah, it would cost so much fucking money. Ridiculous. But thank you everyone for listening to the Very Reasonable Pilots podcast. I've been your host, Charles Long. With me as always has been my co-host, Jake Gloth. He's been a young, beautiful boy. He's going to be editing this. He's going to take out my burps, hopefully. Or maybe leave a few in. Leave a little
I'll put them all in right now, and then boom, you have it. I won't do that. That sounds like a lot of work. And
it does sound like a lot of work. You can find us on Twitter. You can find us on YouTube and Spotify and pretty much anywhere else. Podcasts are sold, but you don't have to pay for them because it'd be weird if we charged money for this. We would probably
we wouldn't make any money.
Yeah, it'd be ridiculous.
We should sell them as vinyl records.
I would love that. Let's do that. I know you would.
I don't know how to make vinyl though.
It would be real difficult, especially because if we got the extended version where we got every unedited file.
Oh my god. We don't have that. Oh, actually, no, I do have that on my other computer.
Yeah.
God,
I've got them. It'd be great. Yeah, well, thank you, everyone, for listening. Subscribe, ring that bell if you're listening on YouTube. Do other things if you're listening in other places. Tell us a superhero that you would be in this world where the powers aren't very strong. Would you be Toasty Toast Man, or would you be Oregon Lad?
I want to be Light Breeze Lad.
You can fly on a light breeze.
Oh no, I was just gonna say you could make it like a light breeze, because if it's it's really humid and hot outside, and you're like, God, I wish there was some wind. Well, here comes Light Breeze Lad with the light breeze to lighten up your day.
My superpower would be I'm like Magneto, but I can only control toothpicks.
Pretty so sick. That actually pretty deadly. You could be like I remember that guy in Guardians of the Galaxy, Yondu. Yeah, with the little stick thing.
Yeah, but that was like a super metal arrow thing. I'm at my most deadly at a cocktail party.
You could I don't know, you could go through someone's eye or something. That'd be a good power.
Okay.
They call you the porcupine.
I'm back into it. Porcupine. Call me Porcupine. All right. Well, thank you everyone for listening. Have a good day. I love you all. Kisses.
Bye.